also recognize, just as it has been in the United States for Jamaica, one of the issues that has been presented as an issue that is economic in the way its impact has been the pandemic. So to that end, we are announcing today also that we will assist Jamaica in COVID recovery by assisting in terms of the recovery efforts in Jamaica that have been essential to, I believe, what is necessary to strengthen not only the issue of public health, but also the economy.
I still don't know what we're doing for Jamaica, but we're doing it.
What's up, guys?
That might be one of her better combination of words being put together.
Yeah, that one was actually okay. What's really funny though is you can hear it in her voice whenever she's about to like crack and start cackling, and she like fights it off. So that
Stop the cackle.
I have a little bit of respect for her because you can hear her voice start to crack when she wants to just go into full on cackle mode, and she reels it in and she plugs through with whatever nonsense she's saying.
We're real proud of our vice president here on the morning.
We are super proud of her. Yeah, she is a shining light for Black people and women everywhere. Her and Karine both just knocking it out of the park every day.
Also for people who may struggle putting words together.
Yeah,
she's working through it. Those people are working through it.
That's right.
It's all a struggle.
You have to let your light shine.
Something like that.
As Michelle Obama would say.
Well, do we want to get into her part that's being played?
They all are. They're all actors.
Yeah.
I think there's a bit of a, like, the more you've been running in the circles that she's running, like, there's some natural decay there.
Think so.
That tends to happen. Yeah.
The brain bleed that happens over time just by associating with all of those people.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Well, we may not have to put up with her for too much longer if this article from The Hill is even remotely accurate. Here's a game plan. Biden replaces Harris with Newsom and then resigns.
Let me first say that I can't stand the way Newsom spells his name. There's got to be an E at the end.
Right. Or at least throw a B on there just to make it exotic. Like,
yeah.
Just ending it with the M it's like there's something's not right about that.
So where are they getting this? Just White House sources?
So Tuesday delivered some clarity, confusion, and mystery. Better news for the Democrats than basically everyone expected. That said, the results came despite both President Biden and President Harris being unpopular with a large segment of the electorate, including a number of Democratic pundits and voters. It's not getting as much attention as I believe it should regarding why the anticipated red wave never reached the shore, but I believe one of the main reasons is Trump fatigue and even hatred for the former president. As long as he's still considered a viable candidate for 2024 or a political force by the left, that fatigue and hate will be enough to drive many Americans to the polls to vote against any Republicans. Then it just kind of gets into Biden and Kamala are not the future of the Democrats, and they're gonna that momentum to slow the red wave is not going to be able to maintain it won't be able to maintain through another 2 years without a fresh face, and that fresh face is not Kamala Harris or Joe Biden. It is Gavin Newsom. Basically.
You sure thought Joe Biden? So the fresh face we've all been looking for.
You posted that one 2016 meme of him holding Obama's hand. That's so fucking hilarious.
It's not gonna take much to knock Biden over. I mean, it wasn't a red wave, but a little tiny puddle ripple would do the job.
A slippery shower floor, whatever, whatever it might be.
Raindrop, perhaps.
Yeah, man, that really was the golden age of like that period of Joe Biden memes when Obama was exiting, there was a real good couple months of just some great Biden memes. Simpler
I do remember
times.
those.
Yeah.
Those were good.
I've said it many, many times. Like, I cannot believe that the guy who was the butt of every joke for 8 years and then became just a running gag of memes for a solid month and a half in the 2016, leading up to the 2016 election. Like, that guy somehow suddenly became a guy we took seriously and more people voted for than anyone else in the history of United States politics. Okay.
Allegedly.
Supposedly.
Yeah, I think there are rumors that Obama wanted to drop him in 12 too, because he was sick of him after those first 4 years.
It was. Obama didn't like him at all. Like, that's why Obama didn't come out and endorse him until September of 2020. Like, Obama didn't give an official endorsement to Joe Biden until like the last month or so, because he just didn't like the dude.
Well, yeah, man, he used to
Fair enough.
chase his people out of the public pool all the time. Why would he?
After they get done rubbing on his leg hair.
Corn Pop was actually a hero.
The hair goes up and down on my leg.
Get out of here, you weird old white man.
Sit on my lap. Yeah, I don't think they voluntarily sat on your lap there, buddy.
I didn't know. As a child, I didn't voluntarily sit on many men's laps.
Yeah.
There was the one with the beard and the red suit.
Yeah, I barely even got on his lap without.
He lured me in a couple times.
Yeah.
And he never magically made my presents I requested appear, so that was it for me. You aren't magical.
Yeah, I never got my Sega.
No.
Mm-mm.
Still waiting for it.
We got that ourselves. My brother and I collected change for I don't know how long. And we had a Sega cost it was like $100. And we had $100 in quarters, nickels, dimes, and pennies. We had it in gallon Ziploc bags. That was how we bought our Sega. Of course, we were kids, so we didn't understand the concept of taxes. And so Dad was like, "It's all right. I'll cover the $7 in tax to get back, so you can actually buy it." So that's why anytime dumbass over here asks me to buy stuff for him, he's like, "Yeah, it says it's $25." I'm like, "You got to count the taxes in there. I'm not covering your taxes. I don't believe in that kind of thing. You pony up the rest." It's like, this is what it actually costs, money. Isn't that right?
Dad was nice to you.
If there's any part of this I'm paying for, it's definitely not the government's cut. You know what I mean?
Damn right.
Tell you what, I'll give you $25 towards the item, and you pay the $25 in taxes. How about that?
Right.
Always take that deal, Sean.
The one thing I'm not covering is the taxes. If you find a way for me to cover a different part of it, the shipping and handling I'm good with, but not the taxes. No.
Oh man. Did did you guys see Biden bitching about the what do you call them, the junk fees? Or no? Sorry, if I was better, I'd have a clip. Doesn't matter.
That's been a couple weeks ago,
yeah. It's been a little bit. I was just talking to the roommate about it recently, and we were like, all the junk fees are all just like taxes, anyhow. So it's no wonder he wants them covered, because it's that's like a hotel or a phone bill or whatever. It's there's these 6 extra things, and they're all taxes, disposal fees or communication fees.
That's what it all is. That's what it all boils down to. Everything that, anytime you see something that's included that has some sort of EPA tax or something that's covering a USDA fee or something like that, it's all just taxes. It's all just, that's the regulatory agencies adding money onto your costs. It's
the private company just letting you know, hey, dude, this is the phone bill. Don't confuse it with this over here.
Yeah. This is the part that they told us we had to add on. This is the part we're actually charging you for. Blame them for all of this over here.
Nope.
It's really crazy when you get into those bills and you look at them and see how much extra stuff is tagged on that has nothing to do with your actual bill and how much it actually costs them to provide you a service. That's,
Junk fees.
I mean, there are some cases where it's anywhere from a quarter to a third of your bill is just all of those regulatory stuff being covered. That's fucking nuts. Like getting new tires and stuff, like the disposal fees and all of that stuff. Like it doesn't cost anything for them to just go burn tires out behind the building, but they have to dispose of them properly. So, and then you get all these extra fees and stuff added onto it.
I tell them I want my tires back. Those are my tires. I've used them around the farmstead though, for
tires
purposes. So yeah, I do. It's not just to be cheap. I'll pick them up off the side of the road too.
I have done that, but here we've got so many used tires between the two big garages that when I got Stephanie's tires changed out, I just really didn't have any use for them. It's like I got so many used tires sitting around. I don't need more.
They make good tarp weights.
Yes, that they do.
Yep.
So, I guess I could tie them to tie a rope onto them and put them on like a harness and have him like drag them around back and forth across the yard, try to build up some, because he says he wants to play football. So number one, he's got to get his grades up, and number two, we got to work on that leg strength. So time to
and it aerates the yard while you're at it. So you go out and you broadcast the grass seed first, then you have them run with the tires, and it buries the grass seed just the right amount. You're improving the lawn. It's excellent. A field with manure in it. It breaks up the manure. There
are a lot of uses for tires, huh?
Well, and children labor, but yeah.
Yeah, and if the child doesn't listen, you just stack them on top of each other, throw them down the middle, and bolt on a lid on the top. Here you go.
There we go. Be like, stand still. We're going to stack tires around you until you can't move anymore. Then knock him over and roll him around the yard.
Trust me, there's a point to this. Just do it.
Trust
me. And then just walk away.
It all worked out in the end.
Having some of the light den blend today for the first time. It's pretty good. Yeah.
He send you all of his blends?
Well, two of them. I don't know how many he has. But if it's two, then yes.
And yes, I got them all.
If you guys have ever wondered why I'm drinking out of I've had this a couple times, the American flag mug.
I figured you were celebrating Veterans Day.
No, it's not typically my MO, but I don't know if it's actually a Campbell soup mug.
Wow.
So, I can appreciate that.
Yeah. It's like your pillow. Don't you have an American flag Campbell's pillow or something?
Got the American flag pillow, and then we've got the Campbell soup can 10 back there.
You got a helper back there pointing to everything for us.
Yeah. Thank you, Vanna White.
Your Vanna was about to make the same joke. Oh man.
Layton's all about those manifestos.
My options right now, I'm slowly working on the studio, but is either this overhead light, which is hideous, or it's open this window, but right now the sun is in the position where it hits me right on the side of the face. So yes, I've gotten a lot of comments on the
it's usually
me in the dark between here and other podcasts. So I apparently do need a lighting solution.
I've been thinking about getting one of those ring lights and putting it right here in front of my computer.
Are they too intrusive though? I'm light sensitive.
That's kind of what I worry about too, because unless I have
the way you said that, I'm light sensitive.
Or
does I sound like a woman?
Like if I switch over to Twitter, for instance, because I use dark mode on everything, then it really blackens me out. I get real dark. So unless I have a good light,
touch the stuff.
Unless I have a good well lit background, you can't really see me good. So I was thinking about getting one of those ring lights. That way it eliminates that lighting problem.
Well, the solution proposed to me was do this. You guys tell me if this makes a difference. Hold on. Is that any better?
That's a little better.
Open up a notepad and make it full screen, and then you kind of access the light.
Well, I mean, that's what I do. I'll open up an article that has a really bright background, and that way it lights me up a little bit better.
I will hopefully be working on my manifesto here this week, though. So
Oh, good.
I've got a chapter for a book I've been supposed to have written for somebody like a month ago or 3 months ago. Sorry. But I've got it like halfway done now. So 1 or 2
Nice.
more good sittings, I think I can get it finished. But it's more of a chicken manifesto than Uncle Ted manifesto.
You ghostwrite for Joey Saladin, right?
No. No. No, I don't.
Not one of these. Did I say his name right this time? I feel like I always get it wrong.
Who'd you say again?
It's
Say
Joey Saladin.
Well, his name's Joel Salatin.
Joel.
But
That's what I always get wrong.
You're
he does
so
have a
close.
son named Dan Salatin who is writing now.
Okay.
So I don't you guys might know the implications of that, so I don't know what to make of that. But yeah, I apparently heard that I guess his son's doing some shit now, so taking his place. Most of Joel's books lately have been, I like them, but they're not something that, like, his old books could be like anybody who doesn't farm could pick up and read and like enjoy it, you know. But his books lately have been very, very like instructional. Like, here's a $95 book with full color, full, you know, cut pattern diagrams to build all these different chicken tractors and chicken coops and this and that. So they're very instructional, which is awesome if you're like in the biz and you're looking to do it as like a, you know, a business. But it used to be, you know, like, folks, this ain't normal or whatever, you know, books like that, just anybody could pick up and read and really get a lot of value out of.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Where everything I want to do is illegal. Definitely the
That's the best one.
diffuser shade. You know, we have a shadow box. The wife has one because she sells a lot of stuff on the internet. Maybe I'll try that out. She uses my microphone all the time. It's only fair I debo her shadow light box.
Well, you know, if you really want to just take her shadow light box and not have to worry about it, you can just get in on the MAID thing and have the government take care of her for you, and then you just claim all of her shit.
MAID as an
Amir
alternate.
Farsood has applied for medically assisted dying, known as MAID. He lives in constant agony due to a back injury, but has started the process for end of life because his rooming house is up for sale and he can't find anywhere else to live that he can afford. He barely survives on Ontario disability support payments, which are just over $1,200 a month. He doesn't want to die, but being homeless is not an option.
I know my mental health condition, I would survive it anyway.
Farsood meets the criteria for MAID, physical suffering due to disability that cannot be relieved. His doctor, who knows Farsood's real reason for MAID is his fear of being homeless, signed off on the application in August. Farsood needs a second to do the same. There's a 90-day waiting period. He believes he could potentially access MAID in about a month.
I don't wish he did. Even with the pain, even with the meds, I still want to be here.
Buddy, you're already dead.
Like, be careful how I say this.
Just say it.
This wouldn't be a problem in a country that didn't make guns illegal. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, make handguns illegal. And I like to make light of suicide. Like, I mean, I don't have an issue with suicide jokes. I just have, you know, people close to me who have gone out that way. So it sucks, you know, but like, I mean, like, there's a point where you might get to an age or an ability and you end up in a home and you'll be like, damn, I should have smuggled in a pistol. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I'm saying. It's the medically assisted suicide and the, like, even just like I don't know if you guys have it's called the same thing, Baker acting in other states, where the I don't know if it's a state thing, but where the government can, you know, forcibly commit you for a period of time because you're suicidal or drug problems or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, part of me is like really like against like that, but then there's part of me that's like, you know, like when somebody just has like a mental problem or a depression episode or a drug issue or something that can be remedied, you know, or at least a decent enough likelihood, it's like, I have a lot less of a problem with them being taken against their will and some sort of medical treatment forced upon them, right? When it's like some old person or whatever who just wants to fucking die, it's like, cool, dude, like, go for it, you know? So, I don't know.
Well, and see, the problem with this is becoming more and more common, and has been for the last 6-8 months, maybe even longer than that, in Canada, is the medically assisted suicide or medically assisted death, the MAID thing is so, everybody, all the democratic socialists and dumb lefties tout, universal health care and how great it is. Well, a lot of what's going on in Canada is people like this guy that either have a chronic illness, a disability, or some major surgery that's needed. And the government's just like, sorry, we won't cover that. But because you're in so much pain, we'll help by getting a doctor to kill you. So sorry, we can't pony up the money to give you the meds and give you the surgeries or procedures or treatments that you need to actually get better, but we can have you offed. So, if you have all of these problems and it's a chronic thing and you're in constant pain, just fill out this application and we'll approve you to have and we'll pay to have a doctor help you die. That is becoming the alternative to universal health care, is universal suicide.
Well, it even says,
Like, do I have
or he
to
even said,
upgrade my?
go ahead.
I was gonna say, to upgrade their government package, or is that just part of all 3 levels?
I don't know.
Did I hear it right when they said that the doctor acknowledged that the reason for him wanting this was a fear of being homeless?
Yes.
So it's not even like an illness thing. Like, it seems like that could just be solved by, I don't know, housing the person, Again, I'm not for government housing either, but I'd probably rather that be the solution than just kill him.
Well, and the reason he has this fear of being homeless is because, again, all these amazing social programs that Canada has, he is fully disabled. He can't work. Their disability program doesn't provide enough for him to actually maintain a stable level of housing and food and all of that stuff. Their incredible universal health care won't actually treat him or help him get his medicine or get any type of a procedure to get better. So all of these incredible social programs and government programs that everybody in the left touts is the reason that Canada is so much better than us. Yeah, they're so much better than us at killing people who need help. I mean, that's the government solution to everything, isn't it? We'll pay for the bullet to be put in your head.
Yeah, I mean, then their healthcare looks a little bit better when they don't have as many people to care for.
Yeah,
it's a nice feedback loop they got going there.
Hey, I said that the whole COVID thing was remember I said it was a scheme to take some pressure off of Social Security and off the healthcare system. If you just get rid of all these old people who need a little help out the door, then you're not having to pay for healthcare and Social Security for all of them anymore, and it takes away some of that financial burden that the government has for all of those folks. It's all a money game.
Always.
To that, apparently there's been a major increase in people who invested in crematoriums and stuff are hitting it big, I guess.
Interesting.
Apparently, if you had invested around 2020 in something like that,
is there that much of an increase in overall death?
Well, and especially the death of suddenly.
Yeah.
Those sad deaths.
Yeah.
His condition.
No liberals.
Wow.
So, that's another thing that Canada's doing is they're going to help. This isn't even helping people who are requesting it. They're people who are mentally ill. This is going to be the treatment that is prescribed by their doctor, is that they need to be for their own medical health and safety. They need to be suicided.
I wonder if we're
really leaning into the Clinton approach on how to deal with all of your problems in Canada.
I wonder if that's gonna go like full circle to trannies.
I need to find the article. They're talking about using this as a treatment for children as well.
It's like they were like, look, guys, we know this kind of sounds like the old lobotomy days, but that was really gruesome, and we know that, so we're not gonna go down that road anymore. We're just gonna kill them. We're just we're just gonna kill them. We're not gonna have any of these lingering gross side effects or anything. We're just gonna
we're not half-assing it anymore. We're just gonna go ahead and just remove them entirely. We're not just gonna remove the brain. We're gonna remove the whole life.
Yeah, it was, and really when you look into the actual like how lobotomies were like distributed, it was like government facilities, it was like lobotomize, and like private facilities, it was like very rare they did like lobotomies, but yeah, that was they started to take over the public mental health system. The American Medical Association lobbied to push all that more into give doctors more power to commit people, and then they had too many people and not enough staff. I'm like, well, let's just lobotomize them because we can't handle them. So they just fucking lobotomize everyone. Fucking awful, man.
Well, now they're going to take it a step further, and the crazy thing is, like, this is what the left wants here in the States. Like, this is the universal healthcare system. That how long has Canada had their universal healthcare as it's currently construed? Like, it hasn't been something that they've done forever. It's been within the last 20 or 30 years. So like, we're talking about less than a generation before you go from everybody gets all of the healthcare that they want and need to, sorry, we can't take care of you, so we're going to kill you. And the people who can afford it, they just come to the States and get whatever treatment they need. Like, they don't even bother going to hospitals or anything like that in Canada. Like, Canadian medicine is exclusively for poor people, and they can't treat the poor people, so now they're just killing them.
I'm old enough to remember Sarah Palin getting mocked for talking about death panels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Come on.
She's nuts.
That could never happen.
Can't take her seriously. She was a little weird at times, but
yeah,
she hit that one.
Oh, that was another beautiful time in American politics. We had Sarah Palin up in the mix.
She made that race entertaining. Yeah, freaking John McCain.
Oh, Lord.
Both boring and terrible.
Right? Like, if you're going to be boring, at least be entertaining. Or if you're going to be boring, at least be entertaining while you're being boring. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, Joe Biden is boring, but he's also entertaining. Like, he doesn't say anything impressive, but everything that he says is, like, crazy. Like,
be John Fetterman is what you're asking.
Yes. Where's the? I don't have it on the computer. I've got it saved on my phone. The meme. It's like the bell curve with Fetterman. It's like the dumbass is on the end, like, we elected John Fetterman, and then they elected John Fetterman, and then the ones in the middle that are like, run better candidates, and then at the other end of the bell curve, like the really intelligent people who are like, all John Fettermans, more.
Hell yeah! What, just to accelerate things?
Yeah.
It sounds.
Yeah. I am absolutely an accelerationist.
God, man, that would be entertaining. Has he done anything exciting since he got sort of elected? I guess that is it the same thing with president? Like, they don't actually take office until like January.
Yeah. Are you? I was so mesmerized by there being two Justins. It didn't look like they were in the same spot.
I thought that was gonna be Clyde for a second.
I was trying to get the damn browser to close out. It just wouldn't close. It's like close, and I hit close, and it just basically told me no, fuck you. So I was like, close, damn you. I think I got it now.
You see why I was
Clyde
so
hates
freaked
when I
out when it
bitch.
happened to Clyde the other day.
Was that for
Oh my
the evening stream?
God.
Or did this happen on Friday too?
No,
Yeah,
I think
that
it happened
happened
on Friday.
Yeah, it was Friday morning.
So how was your weekend? How was the old game?
As you can see, I'm locked in Justin's basement right now. So
Oh jeez. I know the angle just screams terror. It's
No.
very Blair Witch Project.
it is kind of right. I got this random decoration of acorns behind me. No, this is my nephew's room actually.
Ah. I was like, man, he's probably in like his own room, and he's just got the angle just right, so we can't tell it's his room. You know,
Yeah, I'm giving up.
committing.
But I think our weekend was good. Justin had prepped his kids for a dwarf to walk in. They were a little bit disappointed that I wasn't quite dwarf-like in my size.
He's over 5 feet. What the heck?
They both asked me. They're like, how short is Mark? I was like, oh, he's like borderline dwarfish. It's embarrassing. So then when he walks in and he's just like normal human being height, they were completely dumbfounded. They were like, what?
This is no fun. Send him
Buckle up.
back where he came from.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I
the
like
game
how
was
that's-
good. I mean,
That's the first thing I went to when he asked how our weekend was. So go ahead, Justin. Give a better detailed description.
Here's how
of our
Justin
weekend.
belittled me in front of his family first, right off the bat.
the game was good. It was highly entertaining. I think we had a lot of fun in Starkville, like walking around and checking stuff out. It was cold as shit down there. Like I don't recall it ever getting that cold when I was actually in school down there, but it was very cold, but it was also good. I mean, we walked around campus and around like a little bit of downtown Starkville where the restaurant we went to eat at was and stuff. It was cool. We had a good time. And the game was great. It was a lot of energy and very exciting. Mississippi State got absolutely smoked, but they had a couple like big moments. Had a punt return for a touchdown that was really exciting. It was a lot of fun, and we had excellent seats. We were on
the seats were amazing.
Well, we were at like about the 35-yard line and 5 rows in, like right. We were just practically right there on the field. It was really cool, right behind the Georgia bench. So that was cool. And we met Tho Bishop and his brother. They met us
name
there.
is not Mo or Joe, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was.
Yes, Steven, we did have a date this weekend. We almost died together too, so it almost was like not a Titanic, a Romeo and Juliet type scenario.
Suicide pact?
I don't know. I don't know if Justin was purposely trying to slip on the road.
Mark brought the snow with him down from Canada. And as we were leaving Saturday morning, we got about maybe 2.5, 3 miles from the house, and we go across this little bridge. And as we're going across the bridge, my truck like careened sideways. Like I was just like driving straight. I didn't even do anything. It just started sliding sideways. So I got it back under control. But as we're sliding sideways going into the other lane of traffic, there's a big ass truck coming straight at us. It's like, just let me get this back over here, get straightened up a little. Then it slid the other direction. It's all good though. I handled it like a professional.
Did you instinctively do the thing where like you threw your right arm out to protect Mark?
Yes, he did.
Nice.
He absolutely did.
I got you, buddy. We're going to get through this. Don't you worry.
And if we don't, then I'm going first.
Yeah.
A very selfless act.
Oh, man.
I didn't even realize I did that. I was just more worried about like not hitting oncoming traffic.
Oh shit! I usually have so much junk in my front seat that I usually do that just if I have to make a quick stop to keep it all from flying onto the floor, you know.
It's like, no, not this random cardboard box.
Yeah,
I can't lose
No,
that.
my gallon of water. Oh shit!
Steven's saying that you were using it as an excuse to touch me.
Oh.
It's quite,
Hey man, those are old high school
Probably
tricks.
so.
Come
quite
on.
the thing you
That's
put
what it
together
was.
there.
Oh no, you didn't see that raccoon run out? Copperfield. Yeah, man. I didn't do
Dag-
that. I mean, I'm just
Dags is that's a very specific story, Dag.
oh shit.
was
Yeah, I've
her
read
name?
about it in People.
Okay.
So I grew up very rurally, so we would play like the call it the animal game, where you just ride around on back roads, and like if you see like a deer comes running out, you'd be like deer, and then the other person had to take an article of clothing off. But if you were really good and you knew the back roads, you would just keep driving by the same house where you knew that dog was going to run out every time, and then you'd just be like dog, and then drive around a little bit more and hit a couple back roads and circle back. Oh, dog!
You do that with your
We
buddies?
see so many dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Take your bra off.
I don't know why.
Oh, shoot.
I don't know why
I've
that
never
guy
heard of
was
that
wearing
game.
a bra, but whatever.
It was Leighton.
We used to just drive through like the state forest at night, and if you just did it fast enough, you could just like you'd run over enough animals. Like by the end of the night, you know, you just tally them up. You're like, oh man, 3 raccoons and 4 rabbits, not a bad night. You know, just you don't even have to try. I mean, you don't have to be cruel about it. Just they just run out in front of you.
Just don't swerve and you're good.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously enough of them. You can't drive through without them suiciding themselves under your truck.
There was
We were
a chick
cruel
I went
back
to
then.
school with totaled her car trying to miss a rabbit. Like, it's just a rabbit, just hit it. Like,
yeah.
Totaled her
that's a bit
car.
much.
Shit, if it's a coyote, I'll speed up.
We're going in.
Yep. All right. Payback time. I do get disturbed at my bloodlust for coyotes. It's like the one
It's-
time
Yeah,
I
what
don't really
is it?
want to
Did
kill
they
something.
steal your chickens? Is that what it is?
Ye-
Or?
Yeah, and it's not even like you know, like a fox or something might come like take a chicken from time to time or whatever. But like a coyote, like it'll take a chicken, but it'll kill like 30 other ones and like not eat them or anything. It just, you know, so you just come out and there's just 30 dead chickens laying around, and it's pretty it gets the blood going, you know, for sure. You know, it's sad, obviously, and especially because it's always your favorite chickens. But then, yeah, it's, you know, you really want to, I'm going to murder these things. I don't even care if it's the right coyote. I just want to kill one.
I think that's just like a farm mentality. Like the
Yeah.
bloodlust for coyotes is deeply seated in anybody that has a farm. As soon as you see one, it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get on the 4-wheeler, I'm gonna track this bitch down, and I'm gonna shoot it as many times as I can.
So Steven says we're an Antifa member. So coyotes and Antifa members are fine to hit with your vehicles. Anything else?
Not those
Borderline.
kind of coyotes, Steven. Wrong. That's
Yeah, the real coyotes are a little too grizzled to be Antifa.
They actually have some muscle on their bones.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding.
Did I tell the story about the time I was deer hunting and shot 2 coyotes? There was a big doe right inside the wood, the tree line, and I was just waiting for her to walk out where I have a clear shot. And all of a sudden, her like head perks up and she just takes off running. I'm like, what the hell? And then these 2 coyotes come running out. I was like, all right, you fucked up my hunt, and I'm fucking up yours, and smoked both of them. Drug
Justified.
them to either end of the field and dumped them right on the edge of the woods. Like, don't. Just as a reminder to any other coyote, like, don't come in this field. This is not where you belong. Dad says that it doesn't work that way, but whatever. Fuck them.
Yeah, that's they tell me that too. Like when I was upset and I had one of my ranch hands nearby and I was like, you got to know where these coyotes live. Like let's just noon. I know they're home. Let's go kick in the door with a shotgun and just fuck them up. And he's like, dude, I know what you're going through, but it just doesn't help. Something about the way they breed or their population or some nonsense. But I was like, yeah, but it'll make me feel better.
Basically, they're really stupid. I mean, that's what it kind of boils down to. Like I think they're like it's so long inbred that they're just effectively retarded. They don't get those like instinctive cues that other creature, especially predatory creatures, like get whenever they see stuff like that. Like, it doesn't click for the coyote. It's like they're just like, oh, okay. It's they're like the hyenas in The Lion King. They're just like complete dumbasses.
just idiots.
Yeah.
Do you
Have
have the
watched
ability
the
to?
documentary The Coyote and the Roadrunner? All those documentaries just make them look like idiots.
And shills for the Acme Corporation.
Yeah, true. Dag is.
Where does he
the
get all
audience
his?
doesn't-
Where does he get all his money? He's got to be funded by the U.S. government, right?
The Roadrunner
No,
the
the coyote.
or the Coyote?
Yeah, because he's buying all this stuff from Acme, which is basically just a pseudonym for what's the one that Lloyd Austin was in charge of? Raytheon. Yeah, I mean Acme is just the cartoon version of Raytheon. So.
Did you guys ever play the Roadrunner and Coyote Super Nintendo game? Oh,
No,
Justin,
I didn't know they had one.
did you ever play the?
No,
It wasn't bad. It was no Sunset Riders, but it wasn't bad. You got any of them articles, Mark?
Sure. I was going to ask you about. I always forget your dog's name. It's not. Is that Dennis?
This is Morty.
That's Morty. I'm wondering if what he's doing now is apologizing for you having to fight him earlier before the show started.
No, he just calms down when I hold him. I think what was going on is the other dog Dennis was out there eating food, and we're not sure whose food he was eating. So I think Morty was a little concerned that he might have been eating his food. But
Gotcha.
they only get upset.
Maybe you just jump on your lap and go, "I'm sorry, Dad. I didn't mean to."
No, I just picked him
You know
up
how
because
I
then I don't
do.
have to worry about keeping an eye on him and him chewing on stuff and I do.
Chewing cords.
Yeah, well, yeah. Earlier, probably if you guys heard me yelling at him, it was when he was trying to eat my headphones. So I just got to keep an eye on him.
I couldn't tell what he was getting. I could just tell he was getting after something. You were like yelling at him and swatting him away.
Well, I'm almost embarrassed. I didn't know that people were there listening to me use my dog. The headphones already have chew marks in them.
Sean was sitting there behind me. He goes, "What's going on?" I was like, "It's nothing. Dag's just beating his dog. He's fine."
I don't abuse my dogs, I swear.
Speaking of other things that might make you go, "What's going on?" Over there in that room. Oh, there's a picture to go along to. Is this up? Oh, whoa.
I can see it, yeah.
Sex could trigger
Scrolling too
life-threatening asthma attacks.
So is this new information? Like, did this just start happening? Or is this because of, like, are they just saying, hey, this is a fact, just so you know. No, we're not bringing this on for any weird reason. That's where my mind went too. So
no,
just another
nothing coincidental or anything. It just so happens that over the last year, and this is now a problem.
Wait, hold on. This is awesome. Many people don't realize that the energy expenditure of sexual activity is about equivalent to walking up 2 flights of stairs, said Dr. Ariel Long, studies author. All right, you having some boring sex, first off, if it's 2 flights of stairs and that's it. Okay, maybe I'm not the man I used to be, but even on my worst day, it's more exertion than 2 flights of stairs. Just saying.
So there's even a prescription. Use your inhaler 30 minutes prior to prevent an asthma attack.
Allowing you and your partner to keep the party going. Sounds like a sex toy ad.
It really does.
Yeah. Inhalers are the new sex toys. With our society of obesity, that makes sense.
I think between that and the whole 2 flights of stairs thing, that's really the telling thing there. Is that if you consider 2 flights of stairs a lot of exerting activity, like you're already pretty unhealthy. Like you probably you're one of the people in the Cialis ads that the doctors say are too unhealthy for sexual activity.
Probably so. Well, Mark and I were talking about this before we started the show. Is like, this is basically saying that fat people are having like serious problems arising from sex. And that brings up the question that we've talked about before. Like, how are they even doing this to begin with? Like, I don't understand the
Fat
physics
people be
of,
fucking. Yeah.
yeah, I just don't understand the physics of it. Like, there's,
The sheer mechanics. And I'm not sure I want to know the answers.
I
Yeah.
really
It's-
don't.
It's not like they all have removable legs. Am I right, Justin?
That's right. And that would make it a lot easier, probably, if you could just like remove pieces and then you get that stuff out of the way.
If they stay fat long enough, it happens.
Yeah, usually lose the feet first.
Yeah. Yeah, it works its way up. Oh, man, that sucks, dude. I don't know, man. That sucks. It's weird watching older TV, like the fat person, or the person that's supposed to be the fat guy that's characterized as the fat guy.
It's like normal size today.
Yeah, it's not that, and it's somebody who isn't even typically fat. They're like, I'd call them like a robust person. Some people are just bigger. You can tell it's not like, as Patton Oswalt put it, tragically fat. They're some people are bigger people, or maybe they have a little bit of gut or something, but it's not huge. So
well, it's like Kevin,
obviously
Kevin
something's
James,
going on.
Kevin James always played like the fat guy and stuff, and now if you look at Kevin James as compared to like Lizzo or some of these other actors and actresses and how massive they are, it's like, yeah, Kevin James was just kind of a chunky guy. He wasn't even really that fat.
He played the UPS guy, like and he was a believable UPS guy. You can't be a 400-pound believable UPS guy,
No, you can't fit through the door.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it's a narrow door on those things. Oh man, that wasn't a terrible show back in the day, for a crummy sitcom.
King of Queens.
Yeah. I think about it. Wow, that was
I
literally
enjoyed it.
20 years ago. That's crazy.
It was, yeah.
Fucking no.
Well, that's like during COVID, Donald Faison and Zach Braff did a podcast where they went through all of Scrubs and like watched all of the old episodes and gave commentary on like recording them and doing them and everything. And I'm a huge Scrubs fan, so I listened to that, and I also rewatched Scrubs through the pandemic as well. And I was like, man, I remember coming home from basketball games when I was a junior and senior, and I would sit down in the kitchen to eat something, and I would watch Scrubs while I was sitting there in the kitchen. Like, this was seriously over 20 years ago when this show came out. Like, craziness. We're getting old, Dag.
I worked in this warehouse back then,
Thanks
and
for
it was
leaving
like
me off of that.
me and my roommate and everybody else was like, black dudes, and I remember this one guy, Marcus Pooley, and he was, he was a big dude, and he was, real, like real black, and I remember we were out smoking a cigarette one day, and he goes, oh man, yeah, I got to get home by 6. I got to catch my King of Queens. That's my shit, and I was just like, oh damn, okay. That's so unexpected.
That's just something you don't hear anymore, though, right? With Netflix and the other streaming sites.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, the new episode dropped. I'll watch it whenever.
Yeah, the scheduled. I was talking about this recently. I'm like, man, it's like, it's cool that we can just watch whatever we want, but it does sort of take some of the fun and like the experience and the magic, I guess, because it's not like it was more of an event. It comes on at a time. You have to be there. Everybody's gonna watch it at the same time together across the country. Holding hands metaphorically. But like but yeah, it's just not like that. On the one hand, it's convenient, but it's also like, whatever. It's just content.
This is the only live sports is really the only thing that you get that now, or elections.
Maybe that's why elections are so crazy now.
Yeah,
So
they really could count all the votes in like 5 minutes, but it's like, well, the rating, we got to get ratings for these shows. So,
well, I was wondering about this because I heard someone talking about it recently. And they're like, back in the day, there was election day, and we knew the answer that night or whatever. But I was thinking, like, playing devil's advocate, I was wondering, was it just that they only called it if it was like clear enough, or maybe it was like, maybe it wasn't quite so cut and dry, and they did actually count. I don't know how it works, but I guess it would seem crazy that we used to be able to do that, now we can't. I guess it seems more likely we just never did, to me, but I don't know.
The only time I really remember there being any kind of a question was in 2000, and that was because of the whole Florida hanging Chad thing. And that entire situation was really weird anyway, with just the way it all like played itself out in the end and everything else. Like that was kind of the aberration to everything else, and which is also kind of what fuels my whole conspiracy theory that none of the elections are actually real anyway. They're all just set up, and that one didn't go quite the way they thought it would, so they had to fix it and get it right, because they knew what they were going to be doing in September of 2001, and old Al was not the one that they wanted to be leading the charge on that. So,
Wow.
Oh man, that would have been boring.
Yeah, well, both of Obama's elections were called by like 10 p.m. It seems like.
he also ran against like nobody's.
This is true. Like I can actually believe that he did receive more votes. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know. They did both suck. McCain.
Who sucked harder, McCain or Romney?
McCain.
Romney's just so bland. It's hard for me to even say like he sucked. Like McCain.
Yeah. It wasn't very distinctive difference between, well, really McCain and Obama and Romney and Obama.
McCain was deceitful because he could get the Democrats on board. Because I know a lot of people who like typically vote Democrat who liked McCain because for some reason they thought he was anti-war, which he wasn't. But because he was a POW in Vietnam, he must really understand what it means to send somebody to war. So he's only going to do it if he really has to. And,
I like my heroes not to get captured.
Yeah, right. Maybe Well, it's funny because like wasn't he literally like napalming people when that happened? Like when he like went down. So it's almost like I don't know. I don't really feel that bad. Like I mean, okay, some people were drafted, but he wasn't fucking like drafted. Like I think he wanted to be there napalming people. I believe.
It's like sometimes you get what you deserve.
Yeah. So if you're fucking dropping napalm on motherfuckers, fuck you, dude.
Steven says McCain was the worst. We would have been bombing every country in the Middle East every day, just like we did with Obama.
And when I try and tell them that, they're so shocked. Like, what do you mean he's pro-war? I'm like, he's been for every fucking war, dude. He just has that guise he gets to get away with. He must really mean it. It must really be important if McCain's for it. So in that regard, I guess I'm glad that he didn't get in there because, he might have been able to be unifying or some gay bullshit like that.
Yeah, I kind of agree with y'all. Like, McCain was definitely the worst. Romney was just sort of like Romney was the Michael Malice definition of Republicans. Like he was the left going the speed limit. Like he was Obama light. That's all Romney was. It's like not quite as progressive Obama. Like that should have been their entire campaign ad. It's like, do you think Obama's going a little too fast? Well, slow it down a little bit. Vote for Romney.
Oh, pump them brakes, buddy. Just a little.
Are you on the left and you're concerned that Obama's a little too radical? Well, I'm just a little bit less radical. Vote for me.
I don't even remember a single like Romney thing. Like, I don't remember seeing him talk. Yeah, I don't remember. And
he ran against Obama's healthcare, Obamacare, but then people always brought up his own Massachusetts healthcare or whatever, but
was basically Obamacare on the state level.
Yeah, which is federalism. I mean, I wouldn't want to be in Massachusetts and have state-run healthcare, but there was a difference there, I think.
Go back to Massachusetts, Pinko. I remember he got like a waiter or something filmed one of his rallies, and it was him saying how 42% of people don't pay income taxes, and our job isn't to worry about those people or something that.
Yeah. I don't care about the 42%.
Yeah.
Which was supposedly just a terrible thing to say, and then Hillary 4 years later calling Trump supporters deplorables.
Most like half the country doesn't make enough money to pay income taxes. That's what it's always funny when it's like, oh, the rich need to pay their fair share. And like I don't got a lot of love for rich people in general, but like it's like they are the ones who pay the income taxes though. Like you have to like when it's people who say that typically don't pay income taxes are typically in that 42%,
Yeah, when they talk about the rich, like there's a difference between the rich and then like the ultra rich, like the
Mhm.
corporate CEOs. Like those people don't pay taxes, like the Gates of the world,
Right.
but they're like lumping in, just normal rich guy in a small town.
Well, and those people
With these
don't pay
crazy-
taxes not because they just don't pay taxes, but because there are so many loopholes built into the system that if you know how to do your taxes the right way, you can just not pay taxes. Like, that was the thing that they got on that big kick about Trump's tax returns and stuff. And like, I went through it and I looked at a lot of that stuff, which, growing up on a farm, there's, you kind of get familiar with the way certain tax things work. Like, Dag, you know how this sort of stuff goes. Like, for a farm, you can reallocate funds, profits into things on the farm, and then that becomes a tax write-off. Like, you don't actually have to pay taxes on it if you're reinvesting that money back into the business. So like, that's a lot of what Trump was doing. Was he was having these big businesses, and then he was taking gambles on stuff that was going to fail, and then you can use those failures and those, all of those bankruptcies, you can use that as a tax write-off. Then you can take other money that you are successful in stuff, reinvest that into starting up these, like, high risk, high reward ventures, and get a tax write-off for that. Like, if you do your taxes right when you're one of those like ultra wealthy multi-billionaires, you can get away with not paying anything, and it's completely legal. It's not like you're defrauding the system or anything. You're just playing by the rules as they've been established. I can't fault anybody for that. Like, you're stupid if you don't do that. Like, you're a bad business person if you're not utilizing the system.
I heard there's a major difference between the property tax on agricultural acres and residential acres.
Oh yeah.
Can I just like throw some seed and be like, this is my I've turned my land into agricultural acres?
I think it varies state to state how it actually works. But yeah, it's so in Florida, and I had to go through all this, and it was a whole court thing. It was a damn nightmare. If I wasn't an anarchist before, I definitely would have been afterwards. But at any rate, so we basically had to go through. We had to prove to the state or the county property appraiser office. Rather, it came down to a magistrate judge. We had to prove it to that we were a for-profit farm business. We went way above and beyond the 5 legal requirements, but they were very few and far between. But it was things like, they want you to be at least 2 acres. You could be row crops. You could be forestry. You could be livestock. There was a few, horses don't count. That's a luxury item, not a livestock, so there's things like that. But it was a totally unnecessary ordeal, but we were able to prove it to the county, and the taxes on the place weren't like the big thing. You know what I mean? Like, if it just would have been, let me pay it as residential taxes, you guys leave me the hell alone, like, it would have been fine for me. Like, not ideal, but fine. But it was more that code enforcement is different too for residential versus agriculture. So this is going to vary a lot county and state, but basically our whole county does fall under county code enforcement. So I had the 6 acre empty piece of land, and they said until I proved to them that I was a working for profit farm business, I wasn't allowed to do anything with the property. I wasn't allowed to put a building on it, a shipping container, a barn, a shed, and anything. I wasn't allowed to have the grass grow over 18 inches until I proved this. So it was all really onerous and ridiculous, and kind of a circular thing where you couldn't be a farm until you were already a farm. Like, they wouldn't give you permission. But the only reason it even came up is because a realtor down the street was trying to sell a plot of land and called code enforcement on everybody on the street to, for anything they could. And so they called them on me for my grass being too tall, I guess. And then they came by and saw I had permits for the buildings, but code enforcement said no, because you're not agriculture, they're not valid. So you got to move your buildings and do all this nonsense. Like, it was a real fucking ordeal.
So that guy needs his knees broken, is what you're saying.
Yeah. It was something. I was feeling pretty coyote vengefulest, after for a little while, but you get over it. But yeah, a lot of times you'll see people do it though, and this is where it's frustrating. And I'm all for this, but it's frustrating when some rich dude has 2,000 acres and he throws 4 cows out there, and then he claims, it's, and again, I'm totally fine with that. It's just frustrating when I know he didn't have to go through all the bullshit that I went through, So You know, it's my frustrations with the government, not that rich person, or that landowner. So,
Justin, if you had one word to describe property taxes, what would you use?
Probably I'd say that it's retarded.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.